Focus, camera, focus. How's it going, everybody? So I thought I'd make an update video here quick. Saturday, I tore the old 763 apart. Did not make a video up because, quite frankly, I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. So I didn't know if there was going to be a lot of cussing and swearing or broken parts or what. So I did not make a video. Plus, it's been so cold lately that it's hard to heat the shop. So torpedo heaters running and stuff. So I didn't even bother making a video. But if you can really see in there, there's the crankshaft right there. The oil pump sits right below that, which you can't really see a dang thing. But then you have your injection pump gear, and they say like a fuel pump gear or something. I'm guessing it's just idler in the middle in your cam gear. So I got it tore apart. Here's the old oil pump, which there was actually nothing wrong with it until I pried the gear off and I cracked the housing, which is fine because I have a brand new oil pump. But that was not the problem. The problem was the teethuses are gone. They are rounded right off. There's big chunks missing out of it. And I'm assuming what happened is one of the teeth broke off. And then every time they get to that spot, it'd get off just a little bit. And they started wearing against each other and rounded them off. Here's the crank gear. So where the good teeth are, that runs the other gears, your injection pump, your cam, and what have you. That outside is just runs the oil pump. So luckily this just pops off. It does have index on there, which you can't see because it's, well, maybe you can see it on top there if my phone would focus. There's a little mark on top. That's for your timing. So anyways, I have my two new gears in the house. I have my new oil pump. But I need to go to Bobcat tomorrow and get my front main seal. And I was really hoping I could get by with, I was hoping that gasket wouldn't tear. But of course it did, so I need to get a new gear case, gasket. But I can't get that case out. And the alternator is mounted on the front, so I need to lift the cab before I put everything back together. Get the alternator off so I can slide that case out and get it cleaned up and put the new gasket on it. So that's a little update on the 763. It is tore apart, discovered the problem, got the parts. Like I said, I just need two gaskets. Well, a gasket and the front main seal. Get her put back together. And being it sat for so long, my plan is to leave the fuel shut off, disconnected, so it stays in the off position. I'm going to crank the engine over with just the starter and make sure I have oil coming out with the oil filter, and I'm going to spin the new oil filter on, and I'm going to crank it over a little bit to try and get oil pushed through everything so it has everything lubricated before I actually fire it up. So I'll probably be putting a starter on it before I'm done too, but that's just my plan. But the plan is to get it running, and then I'm going to use it for a while to make sure everything's good to go on it. And then it's probably going to go to auction. I think this skid steer is going to leave, and the 4020 is going to leave. And we're going to try and buy another one of these. Another one just like this, but with a loader on it. So I think I'm going to try and find another 6400 for a replacement to the 4020. And I'd like to do it sooner than later because, as many people have probably seen in the news, that the federal government is planning on raising interest rates. So I think now would be the time to purchase before the interest rates go up. Unless you're one of the fortunate few that can just pay cash for something, but it'd be nice to get enough money from these two machines to pay for half of one of them or 2/3 of one of them or whatever we can get. So that is the plan. I might try and make some video of this, putting it back together, but like I say, it's so hard because there's no space in there. You know, by the time you try and get a camera in there, and then you're tucked right in here trying to work, there's no room for a camera. But if anybody is gonna change an oil pump on one of these, I can give them some pointers. Number one, have a big pry bar, because you got to pry off. Oh, where is it? You got to pry off this big pulley. This big pulley's in the front. You got to get him off. And this is the nut that holds that on. So that's the worst part, is a deep well socket won't even get into that because of how long that is. So I ended up just using a big adjustable crescent wrench, like so, which was still kind of a bugger. And anybody that's trying to get that nut off, you will turn the engine over before you loosen that nut. How do you prevent the engine from turning over? Somebody's going to ask that. How do you prevent the engine from turning over? Well, I suppose you could jam something in that side, in the flywheel, or have a buddy over here with a big pry bar and get it wedged in there, and they can try and hold back the motor from spinning over. But if you don't have a buddy standing next to you, what I did is I took one of my big vice grip C-clamps that I use for welding and stuff, and I got that over the V-belt up to the alternator, and I slid up as far as I could, and then just kept tightening it down, tightening it down, tightening it down, as tight as I could get it, so it was pinching that V-belt, and that acted like a brake. Then I was able to get that nut off. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, worked awesome. And I'm sure to get that nut back on, I'm going to have to do the same thing. So that's about the only trick I can tell anybody. In order to get the oil pump off, you have to get the gear off the oil pump before you can get the oil pump out. Because you cannot get into the heads of them bolts on the oil pump with that gear on. So other than that, it's not too bad. You got to do a little bit of hammering with a big pry bar to get everything to pop off. Your hands are going to be numb when you're done, but you can get it. So anyway, it is a filthy pig. It should have been washed before I worked on it, but I don't have a pressure washer. And when I was dragging it in here, I never thought to stop over by the door where the hot water is to wash it off first. I just parked it in here where I wanted it and really forgot all about cleaning the engine out. So we used a bunch of compressed air and rags and tried to wipe everything down the best I could. But anyhow, we are working on the old pig. Hopefully she'll live again here soon. Can run her around and make sure she's good to go. I kind of miss this skid steer, because this skid steer has the same engine as my 185 turbo does, but obviously this is non-turboed. And I think this engine is more efficient, and I think it has just as much power as that 185 does, honestly. But I know this machine drives faster than that one. I'll tell you that. This one's a hell of a lot faster to go feed cows than that one is. Drive that one out half a mile to go feed bales and back. Seems like it takes forever. I know this one was faster. But I want a 6400 for feeding, so in the 4020, it's an alright tractor, but I want another 64. That's my favorite tractor, so anyway. Yes, she's getting fixed. So anyway, this video is long enough. I'm gonna end it here, and stay tuned for more. We'll try and get some more videos coming. Hope you're all doing great in 22. Hopefully you're all figuring out what the hell you're gonna do for this year, because everything's getting way out of hand with pricing on everything. Prices on inputs are going up and prices on our income's going down. We're the few that get screwed in everything we do. So anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for more. We want to get some comments going in the comment thread down below on what the hell we're going to do for this year. Everybody's ideas or changes they're going to make. Maybe we can get some side conversation going. So anyhow, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you on the next one.